We're back with the last of the Wave 22 videos. This time we have the Andorian Kumari. It's a really cool ship. I'm a big fan of Andorians. I really liked Enterprise. I'm probably one of the few people who actually enjoyed that show. So it's nice to see this finally get made, and we'll get in and take a look. First off, we have our Andorian battlecruiser Dial. Kind of annoyed that they gave them a independent faction instead of their own faction. Weird that Ferengi get their own faction, but the Andorians don't, one of the founding members of the Federation. There's our Andorian battlecruiser. Pretty standard maneuver dial. Red 3 turns, which kind of sucks. You'd think it'd be a little bit more maneuverable than that, but got a 3 come about in there though, which is nice. 2 white turns kind of compensate for having the 3s in red. Pretty average all around though, as far as that goes. There we have our named Kumari battlecruiser. 3 attacks, kind of disappointing. For the time period, the Andorians had the most powerful weapons, at least that were known. And to start off with a 3 is kind of lame in my opinion. Would have liked to see at least a 4. Granted, these are older ships from Enterprise era, going up against like the NX-01 and whatnot, but still should have been a little higher in my opinion. The extra secondary weapons kind of make up for it, but anyway, 3 attack, 1 agility, 4 hull, 3 shield, 1 tech upgrade, 2 weapon upgrades, and a crew upgrade for 22 points. Evasive, target lock, scan, and battle stations. And you may perform a evasive maneuver or a scan action while there is an auxiliary power token beside your ship. Kind of nice you don't get the target lock or battle station, which are probably the better of the options for actions, but you can at least still take an action if you have an auxiliary power token, and that's not too bad. Could have been something a little bit cooler on the ship, but at least it's something that's actually useful. Then we have our independent Andorian battlecruiser. You're losing 1 shield, you're losing 1 of your weapon upgrades for 20 points. For captains, we have Commander Shran. I absolutely love the actor who played this role. He played so many roles throughout Star Trek. He was in Next Generation, he was in DS9, he was in Voyager, I believe, and he was also in Enterprise. Captain skill is 6, 1 elite talent for 4 points. Whenever you perform a evasive or scan action, you may target a friendly ship within range 1 of your ship. If you do so, place a token of the same type besides the target ship and an auxiliary power token next to your ship. Lets you take that evasive or scan action. Gives it also to a friendly ship at the cost of an auxiliary power token. Works pretty well with the name version of the ship that lets you take those actions even if you have an auxiliary power token. So you can keep doing that and either stack the auxiliary power tokens up or clear them at some point, but gives you that ability to put the token on a friendly ship, which is nice. And because you're placing the token on there, it's not actually taking it as a free action. You can even do that on a friendly ship that may have collided with something or lost its action step for some reason, which is really useful. Then we have our generic Andorian captain. Captain skill of 1 for 0 points. For elite talent, we have diversion, 5 points. When an opposing ship declares an attack against a friendly ship that's within range 1 of your ship, if you're also in the front attacking ship's forward firing arc, you may discard this card and force the attacking ship to make its attack against your ship instead. The attack is made at -2 attack dice. Interesting ability, kind of situational. You have to meet all the requirements, but if you do, you're basically drawing fire to this ship. Making them lose 2 attack dice is nice, and forcing them to shoot at this ship, you can have different ways like extra evasive tokens or whatnot built up to make sure that you could avoid that shot anyway. The fact that it's a 5-point discard is probably the only disadvantage here. If it was a disable or maybe cost a little bit less, it may be more effective. As it stands, it's useful, just a little overpriced. I think there's better uses for 5 points, but if you need something to draw a little bit of fire away from one of your other ships, this definitely has potential there. For crew upgrades, we have Talus, 3 points. When a friendly ship within range 1 of your ship is declared the target of an attack, you may discard this card to target that ship. If you do so, the target ship may spend your evasive or battle stations token as if it were beside that ship during this attack. It's another way to protect a friendly ship. 3-point discard isn't too bad. It's giving one of your friendlies basically the ability to spend tokens from your ship as if they were their own. Can be useful in the right situation. For weapon upgrades, we have advanced weaponry. 5 points. Attack value of 5, range 1 to 3. Spend your target lock and place 3 time tokens on this card to perform the attack. If you inflict a critical damage, you may search the damage deck and choose either a weapon malfunction or munition failure critical card, then reshuffle the deck. You may fire this weapon only from your forward firing arc. Kinda nice. 5 native attack is pretty good over the ship's primary weapon of 3. Range 1 to 3 definitely is nice. You don't have to worry about range bonuses for defense at range 3. It's always nice to have ones that aren't really limited. Firing it from your front arc isn't that big of a deal. The ship doesn't even have a rear arc, so that's always nice. And that ability to go through and get the specific critical cards is nice. All around a decent weapon upgrade. Useful in various situations, and it boosts up the primary value of the ship. Can only be used every couple turns because of the time lock. And it does require a target lock, so you have to keep that in mind, but definitely an option. Next we have Particle Cannon Array. For 3 points. Attack value of 4, range 1 to 3. Place 2 time tokens on this card to perform the attack. Can only be fired from your forward firing arc. Again, another one that's pretty nice. Boosts up your primary weapon by 1. You're not getting that bonus to their defense at range 3. So it's a decent option there. It does take a couple turns for it to recharge, so you're basically firing it every other turn if you want. Unless you're at range 1, this is a better option over your primary weapon, so it's nice to have that little extra firepower at your disposal. 3 points really isn't that expensive for it either. For tech upgrades, we have long-range sensors. 3 points. When defending, if there's a scan token beside your ship, during the roll defense dice step, you may disable this card to roll +1 defense dice for that attack. Extra bonus to your defense for using a scan token, which also lowers the defense of your targets. Kind of a win-win there. Again, pretty cost effective at 3 points. Doesn't require any specific actions or disables on top of that, so pretty useful upgrade. Next we have Tractor Beam. 4 points. As an action, discard this card to target a friendly ship within range 1. That ship performs an additional green maneuver with a speed of 1. Target ship's rolls +1 defense die this round. 4-point discard and an action. It's kind of a steep cost. The ability to give one of your other ships a extra maneuver is kind of nice. The extra defense is kind of nice. Kind of pays for itself. Useful in the right situations. Definitely a touch on the expensive side as a discard. If it was a disable with the action, I think it'd be a lot more appealing. As it is, it's still useful in the right situation, but other than that, there's other cards I'd rather be spending points on. We do have a reminder token for use with the Tractor Beam. So for the rest of our expansion, we have our captain tokens for our named and generic. We have 3 shield tokens. We have a scan and battle station token. Oddly enough, the ship does not come with a target lock, which some of the newer ones have not. Also does not come with an evasive, which is kind of weird, but again, you should have plenty of those. We have a reminder token there for the Tractor Beam, as well as some time tokens, and the additional rules card explaining how the time tokens work. The mission with this one is the Battle of Andoria. It's basically about the Vulcans, assuming that the Andorians have a Xindi weapon and are going to use it against Vulcan. So they do a massive attack against the Andorians, outnumbering them 2 to 1. And the Andorians basically have to hold out until help arrives. Get 300 points of enemy ships. All ships must have a hull value of 4 or less, and none of them can be more than 35 points. The Andorians get 150 points, including at least 1 Andorian battlecruiser, and all the Andorian ships have to have a hull of 4 or less. So basically it's kind of a small swarm fight. You put 10 mission tokens in a stack by the side of the play area. At the beginning of each turn, you're going to take one of those off the stack, and that signifies when the reinforcements arrive. If you attack ships of the enemy who are within range 1 of the planet, you gain extra attack dice, and you gain extra defense dice for your ships that are within range of the planet. And then the win conditions are basically you have to survive long enough for the reinforcements to appear, and the other team wins if they destroy the Andorians' forces before the reinforcements get there. Then as an option, you can change the amount of tokens in the reinforcement stack to 8 or 12 to make it easier or harder. Kind of sounds like an interesting mission. Can't wait to give that one a try. Curious what types of fleets we'll build for it, but I'd love to build an all-Andorian fleet, but it's going to be a while before I get that many ships. There we have our base for the named Kumari. 180-degree front arc. No rear arc, sadly. And our base for the generic Andorian battlecruiser with the same 180-degree front arc. Still very nice. The ship itself was kind of interesting. It's really hard to get a hold on here to focus on it. Kind of a little bit different shape than I remember them. Definitely a different color. I thought they were more of a blue, but they made them out of the same silver they've been doing the Federation ships out of. Interesting looking model though. Lots of detail in there that can be painted to make them really cool. And because of the way that the weight's balanced on the model, the mounting is actually up here in the nose. So they look really weird when they're sitting on the peg because they're balanced really far back. They kind of just hang off. But still a cool looking ship. Can't wait to get a few more of them for my fleet. Overall, it's a really cool ship. Kind of disappointed that they're independent faction. I could understand not making them Federation because they're from a time, at least this ship is from a time before the Federation existed. Still would have been nice to see an Andorian solo faction if, like I said before, the Ferengi get their own faction, the Kazon get their own faction, one of the founding members of the Federation should get their own faction. That said, still a really cool ship all around. It's independent, so it meshes well with a bunch of the other independents we've got out there if you're into playing that. I'm planning on playing them kind of exclusively just Andorians once I get a fleet built up of them. For now though, some pretty cool upgrades on there. Particle cannon's probably going to be one of the more used ones. Advanced weaponry's okay, but it suffers from the same problems that torpedoes have nowadays. And some of the other upgrades are useful in their own right, but nothing spectacular and outstanding. If you are a faction purist like me, it's nice to see the Andorians making an appearance. If you're an independent player, a bunch of new options here for you all around. As far as cross-factioning goes, there isn't anything spectacular and outstanding in here that you're probably going to want to buy the sword just to have. But at the same time, it is a really cool ship, and I'm just glad that they finally made an appearance here, and can't wait to take them out with some pink skin allies and blow some stuff up. Anyway, that's it for this one, and we'll see you in the next video.